Hi, this is Celeste Majors, your canary in the coal mine. Today I wanted to talk about how to handle food when you're traveling by car. So I used to try to stop at restaurants and stuff and eat, and I often found myself feeling very sick from the things that I would encounter in restaurants. I don't mean the bacteria, I mean the food that is served that I really don't do well on. So I started carrying a cooler in my car, and I found out that Coleman, the camping goods company, sells an electric cooler that plugs into your car battery. So I used to have this cooler plugged in, and I could have it at the back of my vehicle. It doesn't have to be at the front. A lot of vehicles, especially vans, have an electrical outlet, 12-volt electrical outlet at the rear, and if you don't, you can get a 12-volt extension cord and run it from the cigarette lighter up front back to the back of the thing, so it doesn't have to be in your passenger seat. And I used to keep salad fixings in the cooler and stuff for making sandwiches before I realized I shouldn't be eating the bread. I mean, if it's non-wheat bread, then maybe I could eat it. But so I would just keep everything that I needed in the cooler, and when it came around lunchtime or whatever, I'd pull off into a rest area, especially if I could find a nice little nature preserve with a picnic table or something like that. And I would make myself a salad, and I would take the cooler into the motel room at night, and so I didn't have to depend on finding motels that had refrigerators in them, because I had essentially my own refrigerator, and this thing could switch between wall power and car power. There was a converter, so when I would bring it into the motel room, I might I could plug it into the wall power, and maybe right after I arrived at the motel, I might go shopping, find a grocery store, and pick up anything I was running out of, or if there was something that I wanted to have special for dinner or for the next morning or something like that. And that's pretty much how I used to travel, especially when I was going back and forth routinely between Florida and Illinois, and all over the West. I lived out west for a long time, and sometimes there's large spaces between towns out west, and it's a good thing to always have food with you in your car so that you don't have to go extra long hours between eating, and you don't have to be at the mercy of the kinds of food you encounter on the road, which often are not great for you. So I just wanted to tell you that I loved traveling by car, and this was how I coped with the food issue. And I found out that before I started using this, bought and used the cooler, I would go into restaurants and I would try to eat safe food. I would try to find things on the menu. And I used to think that breakfast food was often safe for me, some eggs and some toast or some pancakes or something like that. And then I discovered that I was having a reaction to the wheat, and I would get sleepy. When I would get back on the road in the afternoon, I'd get sleepy. And you know how many people talk about, getting sleepy after lunch and stuff. And it turned out it was the food I was eating, and I didn't realize it at the time. And being sleepy and driving is not a good thing. So anyway, I found that I do much better if I carry my own food with me, and having one of these coolers that has it's operated on either the 12-volt battery from the car or from wall current is just a real big boon when I have to travel by car, which is my preferred way of traveling, is to travel by car, because I can also stop and take rests and walk around, and unlike airline flying where you might end up stuck in your seat for 6 hours or something. So that's my little health tip for today, and I hope you can use something like this to get well and stay well. Thanks.